All right, everybody. So we're going to go into something today called pixel art. Pixel art is an amazing free pixel creation Photoshoppy program. It's at Pixel, but it's pixilart.com, not Pixel. So an I. Um, yeah, the only problem with this program is because it's free, there's a bunch of pop ups, but that's the price we pay. So when we get into here, we can either sign up to create an account, which will kind of save our work automatically, or we can just start drawing. You can pick if you want to sign up. It's a social networking site. So there are people, on here that comment on stuff, and I can't endorse whatever they say. Some people are trolls, some people are inappropriate. But this is an amazing creation tool. So if you want to sign up, do so. Otherwise, we're just going to start drawing. Because I already have an account, it'll probably pull up something that I was working on. Let's see. So when we get into this, I'm going to go to new drawing. When we get into this, we can select essentially um, our painting or our drawing size. These are all pixel sizes. 32 by 32 would be 32 pixels up, 32 across. Very small. You can get up larger, which means there's more detail, or smaller. We're gonna select 50 by 50 just as a good kind of middle drawing, a, a middle amount of like pixels for drawing. So we're gonna go to new drawing. Um, so this is what our surface looks like. Here's those pop-ups that I was talking about. To begin, guys, one of the most important things to understand is probably layering. And I'm going to go over this first. Usually I go over it last, but I think it would be better to go over first. So here's our background. Okay, this is right here. We can add layers with this. We can shift layers up and down. We can throw away layers. We can name layers. But I want to show you one tool first before we get started. Um, just because I think it'll make a nice background. These are our colors, like our swatches. You can switch those. We have default colors down here. You can click on these and get more um, detailed with what colors you choose. So I'm going to go with like a yellow, select that, and then I'll just go black with this swatch. So I'm going to go black. And like I said, you can select default colors. They'll fill in these little swatches. So that is our colors. And we can switch those out. I'm going to go with the black and the yellow as my colors. This gradient tool is really cool though. If I click on that, we can add a gradient to this surface. Um, and notice it's starting with black and going to yellow because black is my front color. You can do a gradient click and depending on where you want your gradient to go, how soft or dark. So I'm going to do a gradient like that. So that is my background. Now I'm going to add a layer on top of that. You don't have to do a gradient. I just thought it's kind of an interesting tool. So I'm going to add another layer. So this is going to be in front of the background. We can turn the background layer off and on. We can turn the front layer off and on if we want to kind of see. Now let's go over some tools. Pencil tool, pretty straightforward. Um, it's just essentially a pencil tool. Erase does what it says, it erases. But notice if I go to erase, because I'm on the front, I'm not in the back, it's just going to erase my front, um, whatever I drew on the front. So it's not going to erase anything in my background. It's just going to erase the layer that I'm on. When I'm working in Photoshop, I'll have like 40 layers going. And so it's important to keep track of those layers. Paintbrush tool is kind of interesting because it kind of adds a little flair when you draw with it. Notice the grays at the top and these little left out areas. But it does create an interesting effect. Line tool. Then we have shape tools. This program is amazing for a free program. So we have shape tools. I don't like the color of this gradient. It's too harsh. But anyway, um, paint bucket tool's nice. If I want to fill one of these shapes, let's fill it with that color. Click on the paint bucket and it will fill inside of the shape. Yeah, paint bucket. If you forget what color you were using, you're like, oh, I forgot what color I'm using. Grab the eyedropper Or if you just want to reselect a color that you've used, grab the eyedropper, click, and it'll duplicate that color down here. Move tool essentially moves the whole thing. I don't really use the move tool. Select tool, you can select a shape. I think you can select, if you're like making a stamp, you can select a shape that you've used and then create a stamp. Text tool, haven't really used that. Or this, dithering, haven't used that. Stamp tool, I prefer you not use stamps today, guys. Stamps are fun, but I want you to make your own thing. I don't want you to use a bunch of stamps to make something that's not unique to you. Anyway, how do I close this out? Let's go to back to this. I think that's it as far as the tools. Guys, today is a play day. So we're just drawing and playing around with the tools in here. Experiment, see what you can make with the tools. We'll get more in depth and specific on other pieces or projects. But for now, I just want you to play with the tools and experiment. Uh, when I'm all done, guys, so if you don't have an account, if you want to save this and come work it later, it will save your layers and background. You want to go to File. I don't know if you can do this on a Chromebook. You want to go to File and save as a pixel file. Um, but if you're done, so if you save as a pixel, it'll save your layers and everything you did. If you don't do that, your drawing is gone. Unless you have an account, then you can kind of like reopen stuff you've done. Um, if you're done and you're ready to turn it in, and this is important, you're going to go to File, you're going to go to Download. Okay. Um, this pulls up our download screen. The thing is if we download our initial size, okay, so we're going to just download this 50 by 50, 50 by 50. We're going to download it. Watch what happens when I see the image. This is why you can't download at 50 by 50, because that's essentially 2,500 pixels. Okay. Um, oh gosh, dang it. Let's move that. I'm just going to put this. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. So if we download 50 by 50, this is what I'm going to see. Come on, computer. I don't know what's taking so long. There we go. I'm going to see this tiny little image, and that is not acceptable. You cannot turn that in. I can't see what you did. Like, I want to see what you did. So when we're downloading, guys, I want you to make sure you up the size, because essentially that was 2,500 pixels in that little square. We need to do larger. So we're going to go 500 by 500, which is 250,000 pixels. So we're going to download this. Okay, I'm going to actually delete these if I can. I don't need them. So I downloaded it 500 by 500 now, which watch what happens when I open it up and I look at it. That is a good size. So what that did is it created an image that is essentially 250,000 pixels on my computer screen. So this is taking up 250,000 pixels because there's 500 on the bottom, 500 on the top. 500 times 500 is 250,000, I believe. Hopefully my math is right. Anyway, so when you're downloading, guys, make sure you're downloading at 500 by 500. Something will pop up over here that says, I don't know what it says, but then you can just save, like, pull the image out of whatever folder. I think it says like move to a folder or something. Pull the image out of a folder and turn it in. If you turn in something that's 50 by 50, I'm not going to grade it. I'm going to give you 0 until you save it correctly. I think that's it, guys. I won't be here tomorrow, to I guess today, because you're watching this video. So yeah, you can message me, I'll answer questions, but otherwise, have a good day.